Hey everyone, it's Erin. Welcome to Yin Flow. Happy Friday. Glad to see you all here. We will get started tonight in a seated position, so finding a comfortable seated shape, whether that is cross-legged or any other position that works for you. And if you're comfortable, we'll gently close the eyes. Start to tune our attention inwards. First, just bringing attention to the breath and the quality of the inhales and exhales. Just noticing the speed and the depth of your breath today without trying to change it. Noticing physical sensations in the body. What is your body touching? And feel your skin connecting to the ground, perhaps your hands resting on your knees or shins, feeling of your clothes against your skin. Noticing the sounds that you hear in the space around you. And just allowing whatever might be there to be there. Noticing if there's any smells that you can detect. Seeing the colors behind your closed eyelids. Or noticing what you can see in the space around you if you've kept a soft, open gaze. And last, noticing what you taste. Might be very subtle. Just making note of everything that your senses are taking in this moment as you begin your practice tonight. And we'll begin to deepen the breath. Sealing the lips, we'll inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Starting to smooth out the tops of the inhales and the bottoms of the exhales. And as you breathe, on your inhales, imagine you're drawing energy up from the base of your spine, pulling it all the way up to the crown of your head. And as you exhale, you let it fall down the back of your spine along a waterfall. Inhale to draw energy up from the base of the spine, starting at the tailbone. Exhale, imagine that waterfall tumbling down the back of your spine. Continuing with this visualization, following the breath. We'll set an intention for practice today. We're focusing on the second chakra, which is the seat of your power and capacity to act on your own desires and to choose and create the life that you want. So that's what our intention will be centered around today. We'll be asking ourselves, what do I choose today? Joy, creativity, connection, passion, love. And when you find what that thing is going to be for you, creating your intention, today I choose. Today I choose joy. Today I choose expression. Today I choose freedom. Whatever it is that's going to drive you. And we'll take a collective breath together to seal that in. Drawing our inhale deep into the belly, filling rib cage and chest, holding it at the top, and then exhaling out the mouth, blinking eyes open. We begin to start some movement here. With hands on knees or shins, we'll inhale to lift chest, pulling shoulders back, lifting collarbone, lifting gaze. Exhale to curl the spine, rounding shoulders, tucking chin. Inhale to arch, opening the chest. Exhale to curl. Continue with this seated cat-cow on your own pace. A few rounds here. You can bring some organic movement into, so maybe taking some stirring motions with the spine, one direction and then the other. Be moving side to side. It's kind of warming up the upper body here. All right. And we'll uncross legs if you've crossed them and bring soles of the feet together to touch, knees out wide for Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. Finding the sits bones underneath us, we'll inhale for a long spine. And then exhale to start to hinge from the hips, folding over legs. And you can't fold any further, you can start to round the spine over the feet. Choosing the distance between your heels and your hips. A couple breaths here. And then inhaling to walk ourselves back up to a tall seat. We'll send the left leg out long, right leg will cross up and over left thigh, planting the right sole of the foot on the ground. Right hand will plant right behind us at the base of the spine. We'll inhale to lift left arm up high. Exhale to twist over to the right, hooking left elbow over right knee, or wrapping arm around that leg to hug the thigh in close to the body. We'll inhale to lengthen through the spine, and exhale to twist a little bit deeper. Inhale to lengthen, and exhale to twist. Maybe letting gaze drift over right shoulder. Next inhale, we'll move through center, both arms up overhead. Exhale to plant hands and switch out the legs. So right leg out long, left leg up and crossed over, planting left hand behind the base of the spine. For support, we'll inhale, right arm up, and then exhale to twist. Inhaling to pull up through the crown of the head, and exhaling to twist open to the left. Again, maybe gaze starts to track over left shoulder. One more inhale, and exhale. Next inhale will come through center, arms overhead, and exhale to release. Both legs out, and we'll cross at the ankles again and rock forward to a tabletop position. All fours. From here, we'll inhale, right arm up, opening up to the right, fingertips reaching for the sky. And exhale to thread right arm through left arm, left leg, bringing that shoulder, right cheek down to the floor for thread the needle. You can keep left hand planted by the face or bring it up overhead, or maybe start to wrap left arm around the back, taking a half bind. Whatever feels most helpful for that left shoulder today. And then if you've taken a variation with the left arm, we'll replant it alongside the face. Inhale to sweep right arm back up, and exhale back to tabletop. Inhale, moving to the left side, left fingertip sweep up towards the sky, opening chest out to the left. And then exhale to thread through right arm, right leg. Letting left cheek fall to the floor. Letting left shoulder melt into the ground. And then finding a variation with that right arm if you want. And then just breathing into this shape. This is a nice one where you can kind of just let gravity do the work for you.
And then releasing any variation with that top arm, planting it back on the ground alongside you.
Inhale to open left arm up wide. And exhale to return to a neutral tabletop. From here, we'll sit back on the heels, bringing knees close together for hero's pose. And finding a nice tall spine here. We're going to move through a low sun salutation. So we'll be staying low to the ground throughout this whole thing. So it will be a little bit different than our normal sun salutation. But we'll be moving through a similar series of shapes. And here we'll, to begin, inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, prayer position with hands. Inhale, tabletop, rocking forward, shoulders over wrists. Exhale, plank pose, tucking toes under, stepping feet back. Option to drop knees here if you would like. Inhale to hold. Exhale, right foot steps forward in between hands, coming into a low lunge, dropping back knee. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale to sink into that lunge. Inhale here. Exhale, hands, plant right foot steps back into plank pose. Inhale to hold. Exhale, drop knees, send hips up and back, send forehead to ground for puppy dog pose. Keeping elbows lifted away from the ground to open the shoulders. Inhale here. Exhale. Inhale, lift up to tabletop. Exhale, sit hips back to hero's pose, coming back to a tall seat. Inhale, arms sweep overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, tabletop, rocking forward. Exhale, tuck toes, step feet back, plank pose. Inhale to hold. Exhale, left foot this time steps forward, low lunge, dropping back knee. Inhale, sweep arms up overhead. Exhale to sink hips a little bit deeper. Inhale. Exhale, plant, hands stepping back into plank pose. Inhale and plank. Exhale, drop knees, hips up and back, forehead to the floor for puppy dog. One full breath here. Inhale to tabletop. Exhale, sit back to hero's pose. All right, we'll move through both sides one more time and we'll just add on a little twist in there. So next, inhale, arms sweep overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, plank pose. Inhale to hold plank. Exhale, right foot steps forward in between hands, drop back knee, low lunge. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, this time hands to heart center. Inhale to lengthen spine. Exhale to twist over to the right, hooking left elbow around right knee. 2 breaths here. Next, inhale, arms come overhead. Exhale, plant, hand, step back to plank pose. Inhale and plank. Exhale, drop knees, send Forehead down, puppy dog. One full breath here. Inhale to plank. Exhale, hero's pose, walking hands back to sit up. Inhale, arms sweep overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, plank pose. Tabletop, sorry. Exhale, plank pose. Inhale and plank. Exhale, left foot steps forward. Drop back knee for low lunge. Inhale, arms sweep overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to twist over the left leg, hooking that elbow around left knee. 2 full breaths in the twist here. Inhale back through center. Exhale, plant, hand step back to plank pose. Inhale and plank. Exhale, drop the knees, send hips up for puppy dog. One breath in puppy dog pose, letting the shoulders melt towards the floor. Inhale through plank. And exhale to sit back into hero's pose. We'll just pause for a moment here. Take a few breaths. Hero's pose. Feel the effects of our sun salutation. All right, and then from here, we're going to plant hands right in front of the knees and then step our feet right outside the hands to come into a low yogi squat. Bringing hands to heart center, pressing elbows into knees, knees into elbows, creating some tension there. And rock side to side here. Take the arms out wide. That feels good. Maybe moving into a bind. Ooh, been warmed up the shoulders a whole lot for that. A little pop there. All right, and we'll find ourselves back at center. We'll turn the toes to face outward and release into a forward fold, heel toeing the feet back in about hip width distance apart, keeping a nice deep bend in the knees. It's our first forward fold today, so let's kind of rock back and forth, shake it out a little bit. Maybe rocking forward and back from heels to toes and feeling the shift in balance as you do that. And take opposite hands to opposite elbows. Just let the head hang heavy between the arms. Maybe shaking out the head yes and no. Let's switch the grip on our hands. And then we'll release palms or fingertips to the ground. Inhale to lift up halfway, crown of the head reaches out long. Exhale to fold. Inhale to sweep, arms up overhead, coming up to stand. And exhaling, hands to heart center, Tadasana, mountain pose. And in our standing position for the first time in class today, just take a moment to feel the three corners of each foot grounded into the earth, feeling hips stacked over that point of balance above the feet, and fronts of the thighs engaged, collarbone lifts, crown of the head lifts. On an exhale, we'll release hands alongside the body. And inhale to sweep arms overhead. Right knee will lift to a 90-degree angle, one-legged Tadasana. Exhale, we'll step right foot back, grounding the back heel and opening out to Warrior Two. Trickier than it looks sometimes. Inhale here. Exhale to sink into Warrior Two. Shoulders melt away from the ears. Left knee tracks toward the outer edge of the left foot. Gaze out over left fingertips. Next inhale, we'll drop right arm to right thigh, left fingertips up towards the sky for reverse warrior. Inhale here. Exhale, we'll straighten front knee and then tick-tock arms forward for triangle. And on an inhale, we'll lift up through center. Bring both toes to point out towards the outer corners of the mat for star pose, arms reaching out wide. And then exhale to sink hips down, bending at the elbows for goddess pose. Inhale to lift up through star. Exhale, Warrior Two to the back of the mat. Inhale, high lunge, both arms sweep up, hips square to the back of the mat. And then exhale to step forward to Tadasana, hands at heart center. 2 full breaths in our Tadasana. And then moving on, we'll inhale, arms up overhead. Left knee will lift this time, one-legged Tadasana. Exhale to step, left foot back, opening out to Warrior Two. Inhale. And exhale to sink. Shoulders fall away from ears. Feeling the outer edge of the back foot grounding. Creating stability in the base of this strong pose. Inhale, we'll drop left hand to left thigh, reaching up for reverse warrior. One more breath here. Next exhale, we'll straighten front knee, tick-tocking forward into triangle pose. Inhale, we'll come back through center, toes point to the outer corners of the mat, star pose. Exhale to sink into goddess. Inhale, opening up for star. exhale, warrior two to the front. Inhale, high lunge, hips square. And exhale to step forward to Tadasana, hands to heart center. 2 full breaths here once again. Inhale, arms will sweep overhead. Exhale, circle down to fold over legs. Inhale to lift halfway. Exhale, plant, hand, step, feet back to plank pose. One inhale here. And then we'll exhale to lower all the way to the belly. From here, we will plant forearms so that elbows are stacked just under shoulders to come into Sphinx pose. And here you might have to engage the abdominal muscles a little bit to press the pelvic bone into the floor if it feels like your lower back is getting a little bit crunched. But regardless, keeping shoulders pulled back, of almost squeezing the shoulder blades together to open the chest. Open the throat. Pressing tops of feet into the floor. Gaze should come straight out in front of you rather than cranking the neck up to look at the ceiling. Either straight out or maybe a little bit down towards the ground. And let's take gaze over the right shoulder. Feeling an opening in the left side of the neck as we do this. And then slowly tracking gaze over the left shoulder. And then bringing gaze back to center. And exhaling to release chest to the floor. Palms can stack on top of one another. Forehead can come to rest on the hands for a crocodile pose. And shake out the hips a little bit. And then from here, we'll just roll onto our backs. However you would like. Once we are in a supine position, we're going to bend at the knees, planting soles of the feet on the floor. And then we'll lift the right foot, crossing right ankle over left knee. For supine pigeon, and you might be fine staying right here and just pressing that right knee away from the body. That might be enough of a stretch for you. Otherwise, you can start to pull left knee in towards the body while still tracking that right knee away. Maybe you wrap hands around that left shin or probably thigh. Let's go with the thigh. It's probably better. It's better for the knee joint. To pull, continue pulling that left leg in towards the body. Right foot is flexed. And then just breathing into that right hip. One more inhale. And then we'll exhale to release both feet back to the floor. Take a few quick windshield wipers with knees before moving on to the other side. So right sole of the foot will stay planted, left ankle will cross over right knee. And then finding your position, whether that's staying on the floor or lifting that knee, or using interlaced fingers around the thigh to hug that right knee in towards the chest. And continuing to press left knee away from the body. One more inhale. Exhale to release both feet back to the mat. Again, taking some windshield wipers. Shaking out those hips a little bit. And come back to center with knees pointed up towards the ceiling. Bring arms alongside the body, pressing palms into the ground right next to the hips. And with heels in pretty close to hips here, I'm going to take some dynamic bridge hip lifts, bridge lifts. Option here to do them like normal with both feet planted on the ground. Other option is to do 1 foot at a time. And if you choose that option, you'll just switch feet back and forth each time. So I'll talk you through the one-legged bridge poses. Otherwise, you can just do the regular 2 feet on the ground version, like usual. So for the one leg, we'll inhale to press right sole of the foot into the ground. Left foot will come away, keeping a 90-degree bend in that knee. Lifting hips away from the ground. And then exhale to roll spine back down, replanting the left foot. Next inhale, left foot presses, right foot lifts, keeping knee bent, lifting hips. Exhale to lower. And just continue with this. Let's do 4 rounds total, so it'll be 8 more lifts altogether. Using those palms to stabilize you, especially if you're doing the one-legged version. And after you've finished all 4 rounds on each side, or 8 total, we'll drop knees, both knees over to the right, taking arms out to a T, moving into a gentle twist. Gaze can stay up at the ceiling or fall over the left shoulder. Inhale to move through center. And then exhale, knees will fall over to the left. Gaze can come over right shoulder. Inhaling to come back through center. And exhale, we'll pull knees in towards the chest. Grab the outer or inner edges of the feet with our hands. And then let feet come out wide for happy baby. And taking any movement you want here. Rocking side to side. Bending and straightening knees. And then from here, invite you to take any last shapes you might need before moving into your final Shavasana. Getting out any last movements that your body might not have gotten practice today. Maybe taking an inversion. If that's something you like to incorporate in your practice. And then eventually starting to release the whole body to the floor, sending legs out long, arms can come out wide, taking up some space. Eyes fall closed, and letting the body find stillness. And coming back to your intention from the beginning of class, recalling what that was. Today I choose. What did you choose? And as we move into the rest of our Shavasana, reminding ourselves that our practice, and especially this very important last few moments, of stillness and calm allows us to carry that intention out into the world with us. Beginning to bring some depth back into the breath. Perhaps making the inhales and exhales audible again. Starting to bring some small movements into fingers and toes. Rolling out wrists and ankles. Letting that movement travel up the limbs to elbows, knees. Rocking the head side to side. Before inhaling to reach arms up overhead, stretching through fingertips and toes, through the whole body. And then exhaling to roll to one side and curling up into a little ball, letting the head rest on your bent arm. Taking a few breaths here before gently and slowly pressing yourself back up to a seated position. Keeping eyes closed. And take a deep inhale through the nose together, drawing breath into belly, filling rib cage and chest, holding it at the top. And then opening the mouth to sigh it out. Gently blink eyes open. Bring hands to heart center. And taking a moment to thank yourself. Find some gratitude for you taking some time out of your day for your practice and for the circumstances in your life that allow you to do this. And finding some gratitude for anyone else who may have joined you on their mats tonight from their own spaces. Until we can be together again in person. All right, thanks everyone for practicing tonight. I look forward to seeing you again next week and someday seeing you in real life in the studio. All right, have a great weekend.